leader of the Booner Path. I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the f*** up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juice pumping, boys.
Saturday mornings, Crunch Time Sports. I'm Caleb Czarnik. I'm here with Michael Gentry. Michael Gentry, I need you to do me a favor right off the rip. Say two bad things about the city of Cleveland. Go ahead. Let's hear it.
LeBron played for Cleveland. I hate LeBron. And the only good thing is Cedar Point.
Sure. Hey, Cedar Point, that's a good time. I will say that's a good time.
But hey, even that's going downhill, Caleb.
Look, now that I get a little bit older, roller coasters don't tickle my fancy as much as they used to. But, I mean, a trip down to Cedar Point, that's always fun. But let me say this, Mike.
And fuck OSU.
Okay, and fuck OSU. And let me say this. And pardon my French, this early in the morning, fuck the Guardians. I don't know who it was, but somebody let the Tigers get hot, Mike.
Somebody.
I don't know who it was, but somebody let the Tigers get hot. And I'm going to be fully transparent. And we had some back and forth in our Crunch Time group chat, mostly with me and Booner. I'm just going to start off with this. Tigers advance to the ALDS. And boy, am I happy to be talking about that with you guys this morning. I wasn't very confident in them going into game 3. After that, is monstrosity? Is that a word, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay, word.
That's probably the perfect way to describe it, too.
After that monstrosity in game 2, I thought in my head, after watching baseball for a long time and watching this Tigers team for a long time, I thought there was no chance that the Tigers were going to pull this off in game 3. But after a good start from Flaherty and some timely hitting, the Tigers pull it off in game 3. Man, what a feeling. What a feeling. I mean, I thought they were dead to rights. I'm not going to lie. I thought they were dead to rights.
Did you think that way before the series started? Going into the series, what was your confidence level? Because we didn't get to talk. Obviously, you had Chris on last week, but I wasn't here. So what, was it just after game 2 or was it going into the series?
Going in. I knew we were going to have a decent shot because you have legitimately, and we'll get to him in a second, we have legitimately the best. Maybe like we had an alien on the mound in game 1 in Terry Skubal. Every time Terry Skubal's on the mound, you're always at an advantage. So I knew if we could take game 1, we're looking good. But after that, it's like, okay, what are you getting from Mize? What are you getting from Flaherty? What are you getting from these bats? Didn't get much from the bats in game 1 and 2, but in game 3, they came alive. And you take down the Guardians. You head to the ALDS for the second year in a row. Oh, man, what a feeling. And
it is such a great feeling, obviously, to beat Cleveland, get a little bit of revenge of last year, rather. But and then it just instantly gone like that. Now you're playing the Mariners, a team who we talked about, came into Comerica Park, pretty much embarrassed the Tigers. And, they're the hottest team probably in baseball right now. So, yeah, all that hype, now you got to lock in right again 2 days later.
Greg in the chat, shout out. Good morning, Greg. We all thought the Tigers would lose. I mean, yeah. And there's a difference in, what we do, me, Mike, Jeff, Booner, and Lukas, what we do is, we have opinions and takes. And, of course, we're fans, but there's going to be games that, the Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Wings, they go into. And us as people that, follow the teams, we don't think they will win, essentially. And that's how I felt about the Tigers. I was still rooting for them to win, and I think that gets misconstrued sometimes. But I didn't think they had after the way they ended their regular season, after the series in Cleveland that we had, I didn't think they had a chance. But man, they did it. And the things we saw in game 3 from the Tigers are things we saw like from the Tigers in like May and June, where you kind of think they're dead, and then they come up with a couple, clutch hits, and they come up with the win. Steve O'Baby in the chat, shout out, good morning, Caleb. What I loved about the Tigers was that after the loss against Cleveland, they didn't complain. They just got back to work, and they won. Their backs were against the wall in game 3. their backs were against the wall. I mean, you're in Progressive. You just have a terrible loss in game 2, like I said, and they pulled out a win. So that is fantastic. And Mike, I want to talk about one guy specifically.
I think I know who you're going to talk about, Caleb. I was just gonna veer that way because there was a few different people that showed up big, but I want to get your MVP of the series. And
MVP.
I think we're on the same wavelength. I think most people will be on the same wavelength when it comes to this guy.
MVP of the series, guys. And look, it's probably okay. In technicality, Skubal giving you that game 1, what he did, 14 strikeouts. That was one of the best pitching performances I've ever seen. Outside of Skubal, guys, it's Javier Baez. Guys, it's Javier Baez. Javier Baez played his ass off in the series. He went 5 for 11. He had an RBI. He played phenomenal in the field. He might just be one of those guys where, like, Mike, Andrew Nembhard on the Pacers, for some reason, he just turns it up in the playoffs, and they gave him a contract because of that. Javi Baez might just be one of those playoff risers where when the stakes are at the highest, Javi Baez plays his best baseball.
Okay. And not a bad time for him to show up. Is he, like, in your opinion, is he the best tagger in all of baseball? Like, ever? Like, some of the tags you see him make, it's like it's so smooth, so clean, like it just looks unreal.
Maybe ever.
Hey, shout out Booner.
Shout out Booner in the
chat. That's what I was getting at.
Maybe ever. The tag he had when J-Ram tried to take second and Dingler gunned him down, that tag was ridiculous. And that might just seem like such a small thing, but in the postseason, when every 90 feet matters, when every base matters, and you have a guy in Javi Baez, you can't. It's very difficult to take bases on a combination of Dylan Dingler and Javi Baez, because Dingler has the arm and Javi Baez is going to get the tag down. And I know it sounds such a niche thing, right? Like just Javi Baez is a great tagger. No, that matters a ton in the playoffs, and he didn't make any mistakes defensively. I'll say he made a couple incredible plays defensively. He had that clutch hit in game 2 with the bases loaded. I ended up losing that game, whatever. That I want to talk about this. That review that they did where McKinstry got thrown out at third and Dingler wasn't at home yet. That is disgusting, right? That is disgusting. I do like the replay system, especially in the playoffs. But I mean, that play was too close to, I feel like, to overturn. But nonetheless,
I mean, if roles were reversed, we would have been calling for the out. And, Dingler not running that, or not finishing out the play at home, or whatever you want to say about it, like that is terrible and that is brutal. But that is something like a young guy like him will learn from, and he'll probably that'll never happen to him again in that situation. So it is what it is. But yeah, hey, we came out on top, Caleb. We won the series.
But Javi Baez is the MVP of the series, in my opinion. I mean, I think a lot of people could agree with that. When 5 for 11, he was one of the only players on the team that actually hit this series. I'm hoping, things change a little bit against Seattle. But one thing I want to talk about before we kind of dive into the Mariners series, Mike, is, a hot topic in a lot of this in this series was AJ Hinch and some of the decisions he made. Some I liked, some I did not like. Let's start with the most controversial one, where I think I'm on the opposite side of a lot of people, and I want to hear your thoughts on this as well. First and third, I believe it was 1 out. Guardians bringing a lefty. This is game 2, by the way. Guardians bringing a lefty.
We know.
You're in a spot where you need to put a ball in play. Riley Green pinch hits. AJ Hinch pinch hits for Riley Green for Jahmai Jones. Guys, and I know what a lot of people are thinking in the chat, and I saw a lot of opinions on Twitter. I didn't hate that move by AJ Hinch. And here's why. I don't want to hear the – and look, I think Riley Green's a great player. I think he's going to get better as his career goes on. But this is the fact of the matter. I don't want to hear the argument. Well, actually, I do want to hear it because, I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But one thing I just won't come out and say is you can't take the bat out of your best player's hands. Well, the fact of the matter is your best player hits 240 with runners in scoring position. He's hitting 218 against lefties. He's struck out 200 plus times. And a guy in Jahmai Jones who was very successful against lefties, I did not hate that move by A.J. Hinch whatsoever. I didn't hate it. And I know there's a lot of differing opinions on that. And I know the result is not what we wanted. Jahmai Jones ended up striking out, so it really didn't end up mattering. There was a bad strike call on Jahmai Jones. I will say that. But again, I've seen a lot of people saying, how can you even do that? That's the best player on your team. You just got to look at the matchup, guys. You got to look at the matchups. And Riley Green hasn't given you a clutch hit in forever. He got you one in game 3, which was nice. But I think Jahmai Jones is a fine. I think pinch hitting Riley Green for Jahmai Jones in that spot is totally fine. How did you feel about that, Mike? Because it could happen again in the Mariners series. And if it happens again, what happens?
Riley Green hasn't been great against lefties all year, and A.J. Hinch has been kind of doing this stuff. Obviously, it usually hasn't been Riley Green being the suspect that's been being pinch hit for, but I mean, I don't think that A.J. Hinch should have switched up for what he's been doing because it's been working. And had it worked, had Jahmai Jones got that big hit, no one would have said a thing, and everyone would have been totally on board for it. So I think A.J. Hinch should kind of just stick to what he's been doing. Obviously, it didn't work out that time, and the fact that, you know, it made it a little difficult decision or a weary decision because Riley would have still gotten another at-bat after that as well. So, but no, I agree with you, Caleb, and I might be on we might be the only ones, might be on, you know, the little other side that's agreeing with this, but I think A.J. Hinch should kind of stick to his guns. I think those kind of decisions have gotten the Tigers this far. So I'm just sticking with Hinch on that one.
And I'll say this too, we're Riley Green kind of looking forward to this ALDS series. All eyes are on you, Riley Green. I mean, You were the all-star starter. You're a guy that hit 35
But he was good in game 3.
He was good in game 3, came up with a hit. Yeah, huge. But in a 5-game set where you need the middle of your order to produce, and especially a guy that we saw hit 35 homers, 100-plus RBIs, all eyes are on you. If you get in a situation where your runner's in scoring position with 2 outs, you need to come up with that clutch hit. You're our guy. You're supposed to be our franchise guy. You need to come up with those clutch hits. Riley, all eyes are on you. And look, yes, came up with the clutch hit in game 3, but we're really going to need him in this Mariners series. Now, a couple moves I didn't like from A.J. Hinch. And I hate to do this because the Tigers won the series, but this is stuff I just don't want to see in the Mariners series. Why are you going to Kyle Finnegan so early in these games? He is not a guy that should throw the 5th and 6th inning for you. He's a back end reliever that you need in those critical spots in the 8th inning and in the 7th inning. He should not be coming out of the pen in the 5th and 6th inning, unless you think a guy like Will Vest can go 2. Because we saw it in game 2, and this is another one I didn't like, throwing Troy Melton out there in the 8th in a tie ball game in a critical spot. His first playoff appearance as a pitcher is in the 8th inning tie ball game in a pitching duel. That is not the first time Troy Melton should be trotting out there, in my opinion.
No, I agree, and we'll get a little bit more into Troy Melton later too, because obviously he's on the mound tonight in that big start. So we'll get a little bit more into him. But I don't know, what do you think that is? Do you think it's less confidence in some of those guys, those middle reliever guys that are going to come in, and kind of more confidence in Finnegan, or like what do you think that is?
That's what it is. It is his lack of confidence for some of those guys like Herter, like Holton. But I mean, you got to give it a shot, man, because you need Finnegan late in those games. And he did it again in game 3. He put Finnegan again in the game in the 6th inning. Ended up working. But I would rather see him come out later in the games. And speaking of the bullpen, and somebody said it in the chat, it's Steve O'Baby. Vest was unbelievable as well. Shout out Will Vest.
He might be a playoff guy too.
I think he got his swagger back.
Yeah.
Because he was struggling there for a bit, man. Leaving the fastball over the plate. He was either leaving the fastball over the plate or he couldn't find the zone. I think he got his swagger back. I think Will Vest is back. He made that unbelievable play in game 1 with runner. It was J-Ram at third.
Yep.
No outs. Ball hit back to him. Got J-Ram in a pickle. Got him out. Game 3 came in. Did drop that ball from Torque. But
that play was so satisfying, seeing J-Ram's face after getting tagged out. Oh, man. Couldn't have happened to a better person that ran down at third.
This is the last thing I want to say about Cleveland, then we'll get to the Mariners. This is the last thing I want to say, because I don't want this team the Cleveland Guardians do not deserve to be talked about. That team didn't deserve to play in October. They play the most unethical way. They play the most unethical baseball I've ever seen. They use this black magic. And I think all of baseball, I think every baseball fan wants to give the Tigers a big old hug, kicking the Guardians out of the playoffs. Because they are the most annoying team to play against and to watch. I mean, they're like, their whole thing, like another thing is like, their whole thing is like run prevention. Like we don't give up runs and we're going to win these 3-1 ball games. They're not even good in the field. How are teams not scoring runs against them? It's the most annoying thing I've ever seen. And these hits they get, they're like, it's like they have like tack on their bat. They have this like tack on their bat that makes the ball spin a weird way, and they end up getting on base. I mean, I am so happy the Guardians are out of this thing. I'm so happy. But Seattle Mariners, Mike, Troy Melton, starting tonight. Now, I know what I just said about Troy Melton. His first playoff appearance shouldn't have been in the 8th inning in a big spot. I like him. I like him tonight. I like him starting this game.
And so you're not worried. This is what I was going to ask you. Obviously, was a very bad situation for him to be put in that Guardians game for him, his first playoff, I guess you could say, outing pitches. How does a guy like that kind of bounce back in, only a couple days and make his first playoff start on the road against probably like I said, the hottest team in baseball, which absolutely raked at Comerica Park. And that place is going to be jumping, Caleb. Cal Raleigh, like Julio Rodriguez, Randy Ozarena, like they got a bunch of great hitters on this team. So how does a guy like that bounce back? Like, how do you think his confidence level is? Like, obviously being put in that terrible situation against the Guardians and then, bouncing right back. You're starting game 1.
I think A.J. Hinch having the confidence in Troy Melton gives Troy Melton the confidence. I think him knowing that his manager trusts him to pitch game 1 of the ALDS is gonna bring him some juice, especially like having that bad outing in game 2. I think he's dying to get back on the mound, and he's been one of our more successful pitchers down the stretch. So I honestly wasn't shocked when I saw Melton going game 1. He's been good all year. He has the mechanics. Not the mechanics. He has all the tools to be a great pitcher in this league. He throws in the high 90s. He has good off-speed stuff. He finds the strike zone. So, I mean, for him, it's really just be who you've been all year outside of that game 2. So, I think as a pitcher, A.J. Hinch instilling that confidence in him, like, hey, you're our guy for game 1. I think that brings a lot of confidence from Troy Melton, and I think he's going to have a good start today. I think he's going to have a good start. And on the plus side for the Detroit Tigers, Troy Melton, the pitching matchup today is George Kirby. Now, would be Brian Wu. but Brian Wu is out with an injury, and that is huge for the Tigers because Brian Wu is an ace. I think that this whole Seattle staff, when you look at Brian Wu, Luis Castillo, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, who was a guy they were very high on but struggled this year. I think Seattle was waiting for one of those guys to take that huge step, and Brian Wu was that only guy that did it, and they don't have him for the beginning of this series. Look, we might see him game 3, we might see him game 4 at Comerica, but not seeing him in game 1 is a big advantage for the Tigers because it really gives Troy Melton the chance. It really gives Troy Melton the chance against George Kirby, who the Tigers have played pretty well, have hit off pretty well, guys like George Kirby and Luis Castillo. He's pitching game 2. So the pitching matchup in God, I can't even think of his name right now. Melton and
Kirby.
Melton and George Kirby. I think it's going to be a good one, but I have advantage Tigers in game 1. I do.
Like you said, they did hit a homer, and I think they put up, I don't remember how many runs. They had like 5 hits against George Kirby in that appearance at Comerica Park. So they did hit him well, and he is a little bit worse against lefties. So there is some guys on the Tigers that, you might have named already that could step up against a guy like him. And China Virus here says, our bats need to wake up. Do we have any 300 hitters that hit above El Mago?
I don't think so, but hey, that series is over. That series with Cleveland is over. So this is a brand new series. These guys have an opportunity to totally flip the switch of what they've been doing at the plate, and that's what I said, Mike. All the eyes are on Riley Green. All the eyes are on Karp and Torque and Glaber. These guys sitting in the middle of your order. These all-stars, quote unquote, and Glaber and Green. Eyes are on you now. Eyes are on you. I mean, this whole fan base is expecting you to turn things up. Because we're going to need you guys. We're going to need you guys big time. And I think that just goes without saying. I mean, you need your guys to hit. Mike, I want to say this, and this is kind of a buy or sell type question.
Hit me.
I think this series is going 5. Do you think, buy or sell, do you think that Tarek Skubal will start in game 2? If the Tigers lose that game, they lose the series. If they win that game, they win the series.
No, I like that. Yeah, well put. Yes,
it's a must win.
They lose the Skubal start, the series is over.
It's over. Yes. It's a must win.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter, dude. Nolan Ryan combined with Randy Johnson could be pitching in game 2, and Tarek Skubal still has the advantage in that start. You have to win that game. That is a must-win game tomorrow night. That Skubal start. And that just makes this game 1, this Melton start, even more important. You take this game tonight against George Kirby, you're in the driver's seat with the best pitcher on the planet in game 2. And you might go back to Comerica Park with the 2-0 lead.
Yep. And that kind of goes back to your confidence, or what you said about AJ Hinch, having confidence in Troy Melton, because this game is absolutely huge. It kind of made me, it's like, how is he going to bounce back off of this? But, I'm sure, like you said, nobody wants it more. No one wants to, right the wrongs more than Troy Melton, and having him starting is a lot different than having him come in late in the game in an unfavorable situation. So I like it too.
And another thing, too, kind of looking into next year, if Melton has a good, little playoff stretch here, I just want to wipe that game 2 out of our minds. That game 2 didn't happen. If he has a good little start here in game 1 and then continues to pitch good throughout this playoffs, I think we found our number 5 starter for next year. I mean, I really like Troy Melton. I think out of the pen, him being used as a Swiss Army knife, I think is a little bit of a disservice to him, because I think he's a starter, and I think he could go 5-6 innings strong for you. And that's what I want to see tonight against the Seattle Mariners offense, who these past few years, it's been like the whole narrative has been, oh, Seattle's pitching is so good, but they can't figure it out offensively. Now they have the MVP in Cal Raleigh. Julio Rodriguez isn't the player we thought he was going to end up being, but he's still a fantastic player. Randy Arozarena. Yeah, he's really good. Randy Arozarena, a guy that we know turns it up in the playoffs. That's just another guy, like we just brought up, Javi Baez, that might just be an October player. This is a good lineup. So if you could put together a good start.
Flores, too. Kind of will be able to write that whole story with him, not, us not pursuing him at the deadline, see how that all unfolds, too. So, I mean, a lot of storylines in this one, Caleb. Well,
shout out Stephen David in the chat. It's a bullpen game. Melton going 3 max, 1 time around the order.
Caleb, I was just going to ask you before we move on to Lions. Let's get a Troy Melton stat line. Give us your little prediction for today.
Well, Stephen David, I think that is a good prediction because that's kind of AJ Hinch's MO. If the starter's name is not Tarek Skubal, the leash is very short on these starters. However, I think if Troy Melton goes out there and starts humming, I think we can see him go 5 strong, and then you can go to your bullpen. Okay. But I could totally see it, being a, 3 inning, 0 earned, 3 hit, 3K, 1 walk outing from Melton. But I would love to see him go more than 3 innings. I do. And I'm curious, Simo, I have Melton 3 strikeouts in my parlay, probably a mistake. I don't hate that at all. I was actually going to go look at the lines right now and see what kind of the pitching lines were for Troy Melton. I'm sure that George Kirby's strikeout number is pretty high in Vegas. Crazy Clown, the bullpen is well rested. They sure are. Couple days off. That's what I mean. If Melton leaves the game in the 5th, you could see Holton, you could see Herder, depending on the matchups. You have Finnegan and Vest late in those games. China virus again. Shout out. Skubal starting game 2 and is to give him a chance to pitch his last game at Comerica because Illich won't re-sign him. Yeah, Illich made some comments.
Keep that
kind of after the game. Yeah, kind of after the game, saying, "Look, we're going for a World Series. We're gonna if it's not this year, it's years after that. It's years after that." Okay.
None of those comments mean anything if you let Skubal walk.
Yeah, none of those comments mean anything if you let Skubal walk. But I don't in his defense, did people just expect Chris Illich to come out in that interview and be like, "Yep, we're resigning Skubal. Yep, that breaking news, we're resigning Skubal." No, he's not going to say that. He's just that's kind of just coach's talk he's hitting us with. So I mean, what else?
Could have just resigned him after game 1, if I'm being honest. In the locker room, just brought him the contract right there. Yeah, whatever he was asking for.
60 years, $70 billion. That's what Tarek Skubal's contract.
You own the Detroit Tigers now, Skubal. Yeah. Welcome aboard.
China virus again. Montero's getting boned, man. And look, I just spent 10 minutes talking about how much I like Troy Melton, but Montero's getting boned. I think Montero is a good pitcher. And he's getting brought up there for what? When is he going to pitch in blowouts? You bring him up, he has to start a game. He's getting boned. And I think for a majority of the year, I put Montero and Justin Henry Malloy on that same thing where, there were a lot of times during the year where you could have brought these guys up and they could have helped you, and you didn't. I like Kyler Montero. I think he has something going. I want to see him pitch in this playoff. I do. I think he will. Simo, just enjoy Skubal while he's here, like Verlander and Scherzer. Hopefully he gets a ring somewhere in a few years.
So depressing.
I don't want to have these conversations right now, guys. We're in the ALDS. We got Skubal throwing tomorrow.
God damn it.
Oh, man. God. Well, Tigers tonight, 8:00. And I'm excited for it. We'll all be tapped in. Actually, I want to get to a couple more of these Montero comments because I love talking about Kyler Montero. I think he's a stud. I think Montero leaves Melton after 3 and gets Stephen David. You might be spot on here. I think Montero relieves Melton after 3 and gets outs 1 time through the lineup and goes 3 himself today.
Wouldn't hate it.
Stephen David, I think you're onto something here. I think that's definitely something that could happen. Kiter has great mental makeup, but is a little inconsistent at times. Yeah, he is. He leaves a couple balls over the plate. But I'm telling you right now, man, that fastball slider he's got going on is pretty nasty. It's pretty filthy. And when he's on, he's on. I mean, this guy threw a complete game shutout last year for the Detroit Tigers. He has the stuff. Let's see, J Mommy, if he lets him go, just flat out boycott the pizza chain. His dad borrowed $600 for the first pizza oven in the family. Yeah.
To be fair, I think most people boycott it just out of it being terrible.
Okay, no, let's do this. And I don't want to give Chris Illich any credit here, Mike. Can I give you a scenario right now regarding Little Caesars, little pizza take from Caleb on Saturday morning?
Here we go.
Mike,
what?
Picture this. Okay, are you picturing this?
I'm trying to.
It's 12:30 at night, right?
No.
You're on garage beer number, we'll call it a 9 or 10. There's a Little Caesars sitting on the oven. Somebody just picked it up, or not picked it up. It's from earlier. You're mucking that shit. No?
I don't know. Maybe. Like, it depends. It depends how those garage beers have me feeling, to be honest. Little Caesars, not great. Not great.
It's not great. And
unless
I will not,
it's at LCA, because I don't know, it's just better there.
And if after 3 years, if Scooble's not wearing the old English D, I will never have a Little Caesars ever again. Ken Ross, put the ball in play instead of everyone swing for the fences, swing at shit 2 feet outside the strike zone.
Facts.
Ken Ross,
facts.
You're onto something here. And that goes right to Riley Green. I think that was a subtweet at Riley Green. Just put the ball in play. And Torque. I mean, God, Torque, what are we doing? Yeah, he came up with a big hit in game 3, but God, he was not great.
You want to hear my prediction, Caleb?
Let's hear it.
Kerry Carpenter, home run today.
I've heard that every day.
I mean, you haven't heard from me, Caleb.
I've had all my friends text me, I'm taking Kerry to homer today. I'm taking Kerry to homer today.
Well,
let's just see.
They took it on the 3 wrong days. They should have taken it today. I'm trying to tell you, Caleb.
Let's just start with base hits, Mike. Can we do that?
Okay, cool.
Can we start with base hits?
Yeah, like Ken said, but I'm just. Hey, Boone said it.
It's hitting now.
Yeah, damn.
It's hitting now.
China virus, buddy pizza plug. Hey, buddies. Elite, Caleb. That's sitting on the counter when I'm 10 garage beers deep. It's destroyed.
But yeah, buddies is buddies one. But again, Tigers 8:00 tonight, 8:00 tomorrow. Then Tuesday, Wednesday at Comerica Park. Then I think the final game is Friday during the day. So we're excited for the Tigers series. I want to talk some Lions with you here, Mike. See, Cincinnati this week on the road. Cincinnati is butt cheeks, man, and we're 11-point favorites. And I like, dude, every time like I get nervous when all the conversation surrounding the Lions is, oh, we're just gonna beat up on this team, and oh, are we gonna drop 50? Like, is that I get a little bit worried, but Mike, I don't think this game is gonna be close, dude. I don't think this game's gonna be close. And I want to ask you something about the Bengals in general. Zach Taylor. Do you think he's almost like, let's say it gets even worse than it did last week against Dallas, or not Dallas, Denver, when they lost 28-3?
I mean, it's gonna be worse tomorrow.
Yes.
I mean, they might put up a little bit more points, but I don't know.
Do you think he's still like impossible to fire because of this Joe Burrow injuries that he's had, like 2 out of the last 5 or 6 years? Like, do you think that makes Zach Taylor because he went to a Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think. I mean, like, obviously it's definitely an unfair situation for him because never getting that team at full strength, even, when they've had them at full strength, they've still had like, I wouldn't want to say like championship caliber teams because the offensive line has been, terrible or the defense has been terrible. So it's really just been an unfair situation for him. But yeah, I mean, I think like you would at least have to go like next year and like let him get hopefully a full season with Burrow. Like, I don't know. Like, it's a weird situation with him.
I wonder how Cincinnati fans feel. And that's actually what I'm going to do today. That's my homework. I'm going to tap into some Cincinnati radio and some, Cincinnati Bengals podcasts. If any of you in the chat know of any good ones, send them in here because I want to hear what they have to say because it is a very interesting situation. I think a lot of it is their front office. They like that shit with Shamar Stewart should not have happened this offseason.
Yeah.
That was bizarre.
I mean, Trey Hendrickson, his situation should have never happened. It kind of happened the same thing with the wide receivers, no matter how you feel about that as far as building the team goes. It happened with them too, but
I feel so bad for Burrow, Chase, and T and Trey Hendrickson. I mean, they are just the team's never going to get better, ever. Like it's all dependent on their success. Those four guys. It's all dependent on that success. But I don't think this game tomorrow is going to be close, man. I don't think this game's it's going to be close. I think we're going to run the ball down their throat. I saw a score prediction here. I saw 47-13. Then she goes 45-10.
It's double back.
I think it's going to be right there. I mean, I think we're putting up 40. I'm going to say, let's call it. Let's call it 42-17. They score 2 touchdowns. T has a touchdown. Chase has a touchdown just because we're a little short at corner this week with no DJ Reed, but it does look like Terrion Arnold is off the injury report, which is pretty big.
Yeah.
I believe.
I was going to say that, like, they obviously still do have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and do have a little banged up secondary, but I can't see that, like, the way their offense has looked the past couple of weeks, and Jake Browning, who played well for a stretch of games in the past when Burrow was injured, just hasn't, they haven't gotten it together. And that offense looks awful. I mean, I don't see them putting up more than 13 points. And like you said, I see the Lions at least putting up 40. I expect David Montgomery has a little storyline going on with this game. And I think J-Mo with the way he played last week, obviously not great, but the shots were there. I expect them to kind of get him involved and kind of rewrite that as far as his production goes. But it's going to be a blowout. I think so too, Caleb. I'm not worried.
Yeah, well, Ken Ross says it in the chat, back to the Bengals. You can have all the stars you want. If you can't dominate or at least control the line of scrimmage, it won't matter. And the funny thing is, they kind of addressed that in the draft, drafting Shamar Stewart, and it took them until like a day before week 1 to sign him. God, if I was a Bengals fan, I would be losing my mind. That's your first-round pick, and he almost didn't play. He almost went back to the draft because you couldn't sign him. That is, I mean, and this is a team we're talking about. They were just in the Super Bowl not too long ago. This is one of the most incompetent franchises I've ever seen. And dude, just for Cincinnati fans' sake, they need, like, I hope changes get made. And I don't know if that's Zach Taylor, because what, like we just talked about, is it his fault? I mean, Burrow gets hurt every other year because the O-line sucks. And they have a guy in Trey Hendrickson who led the league in sacks last year, and they're struggling to re-sign him. They give him a 1-year, $35 million deal. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. They draft a first-round rookie, and they can barely sign him. Jamar Chase, the best player arguably on the planet, they struggled to sign him at that time. And then they give a bag to T. Higgins. Like, I mean, that Bengals team, it's a mess. It's a mess. And I just got myself fired up about it. I hope we beat the fucking brakes off the Bengals tomorrow. Now I have this weird vendetta against them just because how poorly ran they are. I mean, that
you
is
just got mad at their front office.
I mean, and I'm the farthest from a Bengals fan. I'm the farthest from. And they deserve to get the pulp beat out of them every week. I mean, and I want to ask you this. Jake Browning.
Yes.
There was a time and point, I believe it was 2 years ago, Mike, where he was the best backup in the league.
He was dicing up. That's what I said.
He is Oh,
Did that pop up on your screen?
yeah,
Like
it did. And you know what? Something about it gave me like some sort of ick. And you know what?
that's
We'll bring
never
him in right
happened
now.
before.
While we're talking about an Ohio team, who better to bring in right now? Special guest. Klotz, give us a thumbs up when you're good. Here he
You look
is.
like he just rolled out of bed, but here he is.
Special guest. Saturday mornings. Mr. Lukas Klotz. Klotzy.
And I don't ever want to disrespect that at what we at 9:41 that Klotzy's just rolling out of bed.
That was disrespectful.
Honestly,
that was disrespectful.
I'm sorry. You know what it is? It's the long hair. We don't usually see Klotz with the long hair. It's a different look. So that is on me.
It's growing.
I retract my statement.
It's growing,
good,
boys.
though.
I think for the winter, I'm going no jarhead look. I think I'm letting it grow out a little bit. I like it though. Going back to the old roots, the old ways.
What about a little mullet?
Not a chance, Caleb. Not a chance.
Can I ask you why? Can I ask you why? Because I feel like right now you want to say something bad about a mullet, but I have one, so it would disrespect me.
I hope this just doesn't disrespect you, but I wish to respect myself. So that's why I don't go down the mullet road. I think some people could pull it off. I think I would. I think if you ever watch Trailer Park Boys,
Love Trailer Park Boys.
I feel like I would resemble a Corey and Trevor kind of situation. I'm very skinny, and I feel like a skinny man with a mullet, it can go very badly very quick.
Yeah, well, I felt disrespected by that, and look, I would be honored to be associated with Corey and Trevor. Two of the funniest.
You don't fit in that conversation though, because it's
that's true. I'm more of like, who's the cheeseburger guy, Mr. What's the landlord, the leader of the trailer park? He's passed away now. What's his name?
Mr. Leahy.
Mr. Leahy, his boyfriend. What's that guy's name?
Why'd you just ask me that?
Randy,
yeah, Randy
yeah.
Bobandy, yep.
Yeah,
great
I'm
show.
like Randy with a mullet, but yeah, great show. Klotzy though, we're talking about the Cincinnati Bengals right now, and I asked Mike this question. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Can you, if you're the Bengals front office, who I just went on a rant, they are the most incompetent front office maybe of all time. Yeah. Can you even, like, how much to blame is Zach Taylor for their lack of success these past couple years? Because you get the Burrow injury, you don't really have any offensive linemen, you have zero talent on defense outside of Trey Hendrickson. How much is Zach Taylor to blame for their lack of success these past couple of years? Like, can you even fire this guy, or does he kind of get a you're good, Joe Burrow's hurt?
Oh, you can definitely fire him, but to your point, it's like, what do you want him to do?
Yeah,
like at some because that was my thing with Cincinnati, and I think everybody put it to the side a little bit. Everybody was focusing on that defense is going to be terrible. That defense is going to be terrible. They were like 18th in the league once, and everybody was talking about Lou Anarumo as flipping. For one season, they were good. Okay, wasn't even the season that they made a deep run in the playoffs. Their offensive line since Joe Burrow has been a rookie has been terrible. He got hit and tore his ACL his rookie year after like 5, 6, 7 games when he was on a hell of a run. Was going to be rookie of the year clearly, and then they go to the Super Bowl. Shit O-line. The worst O-line in the NFL. You somehow made it. I think that's what their problem was. They saw that, you know what, Joe Burrow could take the worst offensive line to the Super Bowl. We never need one. And on top of that, defense, it was 18th overall. They had Mike Hilton as their best guy in the secondary and defense overall. We don't need a defense. We got Joe Burrow. It's like, dude, it's the NFL. The most important thing to win a Super Bowl outside of having a good quarterback, when you have an elite one, great. You have an elite one for the next 10 years, hopefully. Protect him and make sure that he doesn't go get blown out if the skill players outside of him aren't doing their job. But Zach Taylor, he will get fired, without a doubt. And I think what makes it tough for him is I think he's in that Sirianni conversation where it's like, what is Zach Taylor good at? Not saying that he's not, but there's no clear, like, if Chicago were to struggle for the next 2 years, you know that, hey, Ben Johnson, he's an offensive wizard. Let's surround him with something offensively. Zach Taylor, I mean, Jake Browning played really good 2 years ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
Like we played above. That's credit to Zach Taylor, but they're going to use him as a scapegoat because he's definitely like he's not like a Mike McDaniel. Like he's better than a Mike McDaniel, but he's not a Dan Campbell. He's not a John Harbaugh. I think he's better than Stefanski. He's probably the third best coach in that division, but they're gonna use him as a scapegoat for sure. That GM needs to be fired too. That GM is so bad there. Even if he's tied to ownership, like how are you gonna draft Joe Burrow knowing how good he is first overall? Draft Jamar Chase. That ended up being a good pick. Obviously, the Penei Sewell was on the board. You probably would rather have him. Rashawn Slater was on the board. You probably rather have him. But Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow can't go wrong. To refuse to draft an offensive lineman, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah, who was that cornerback in that Super Bowl on the Bengals that was constantly getting clowned? Was that
Eli Apple?
Eli Apple,
Oh,
Ohio State legend.
Yeah,
Ohio State legend.
Figures Ohio State cornerback and cook.
Denzel Ward. I'm sorry.
But anyways, Klotz, kind of back on the Browning situation. Obviously, their offense hasn't looked up to par since he stepped in, and like we said, he did look good 2 years ago. Is there any worries with the Lions' banged up secondary and those two elites? Yeah.
No.
Can I say something on that too? Jake Browning and I you guys watched that Broncos game, right?
Yeah.
That Bengals game. Jake Browning came out and said, I needed to throw more 50-50 balls to my guys. Every throw the guy made was down. He closed his eyes down the sideline to see Higgins and Jamar Chase. What do you mean you need to throw more 50-50 balls? No, you need to obviously the offensive line sucks. So he doesn't have a lot of time to kind of let his routes develop and everything. But Klotz, every throw he made was close his eyes down the sideline. Jamar Chase, please catch it. Please catch it. T. Higgins, please catch it. Please catch it. More 50-50 balls.
Yeah,
it
didn't look like Cincinnati had an offensive playbook. It just looked like, hey, we're going to snap the ball and react. And I think there's going to be a lot more of that this week, just because of the fact that the Lions offense is better than Denver's offense. Denver could have had like 30 points going into halftime if Bo Nix knew how to not throw an interception going into their own end zone. There was multiple times where it's like Denver should be up 41-0 right now. But I think the Lions, I know that around the NFL, especially earlier this year, it's like, the other night, Rams are going to win. Everybody picks the Rams. Niners end up winning. Packers and Cowboys. There's been a couple games. The Bills and Dolphins were closer than people thought. I don't see that happening with the Lions. I think that Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, one of them, might have a day on Terrion Arnold if he's out there. I think that individually they could. But I think David Montgomery goes ballistic this weekend. I think that he was quiet last week. They're going to make sure he gets going. And when DeMont's got 50, 60, 70-plus yards and a tutty, the Lions are controlling the clock. I think Hutch is going to the Lions are just going to control this game, except for maybe a couple drives early on and late in the game. But from quarters 2 to 4.5, 3.5, however you want to, the middle of the fourth quarter, the Lions are just going to own it. So I'm not Jake Browning.
Yeah, this is the one thing the Lions have done a really good job at is beating the shit out of bad teams. Like none of when you see these 10.5 point spreads, these 9.5 point spreads, they usually cover those. And that's one thing that can be annoying for a very good team is not really taking care of those bad teams. And the Lions have done that. Now, I know they did it on the show yesterday, but I think some of these lines are pretty interesting, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. We'll do some over-unders here. And you just brought out David Montgomery, Klotzy.
I did.
How do you guys feel about over-under 54.5 rushing yards for David Montgomery tomorrow?
I mean, I like it. I'm pretty sure that that originally was a little bit lower, so people have probably been putting some money on that. Like I said, there's some storylines, and I think David's having some family in the building, so I expect him to. I said it earlier on in the show. Him and JMO are my two people for tomorrow.
Yeah. Ohio boy. Going back to Ohio. Fam's going to be there against an absolute trash defense in front seven. Is Shamar Stewart out there? Is he? If he is, run right at him. Run right at him. Yeah, David Montgomery's clearing that over. Probably within the first half. I will say John Morton has done, in my opinion, an excellent job with this offense. I was very cautious, I think was the right word. Optimistic. I was optimistic about Shep. I was very like concerned about what John Morant could be. Impressed me, proved me wrong. The one thing I will say, I am tired of that first quarter and that first part of the game with David Montgomery just pretty much being a non-factor. Like last week, even especially, like he has not, like, to open up the game, there has not been a lot of David Montgomery. And I think that's where the lines early on against these absolute dog shit teams, you put them away in the first 2 drives when they realize, hey, the score might be 7-0, but we already have 7 missed tackles against David Montgomery. They're going to play action. There's Amon-Ra St. Brown. They're going to play action. There's Jamison Williams. I just want to see, because next up you got the Chiefs coming in, and then you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Those are going to be good defenses. I think that maybe he's not trying to show his hand, but you got to get David Montgomery going in those games because you're not going to be scoring 40. You're not going to be scoring 35. It's going to be 24-20 type of games, and those are the games where D-Mont has to be in rhythm the whole time, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to go back to last year where, like, D-Mont starts the game. Like, but I do agree, like, these drives where it goes, like, Gibbs, Monty 2 touches, then Gibbs.
Yeah.
Like you got to, like, Dave Montgomery, we just extended him for 3 more years. Like, and he's been extremely successful in his tenure here, and he's been a big part of the Lions' success. You got to get him going. He has that big game against Baltimore. And look, Gibbs deserves all the touches he's getting, but you are right. I want to see Dave Montgomery get going a little bit more, and I think he starts it this week.
Yeah, no, and I've been saying that. Monty sets the tone. You need him in the game, and that is a little surprising. This is coming from a guy in Klotz that was hammering for Jahmyr Gibbs to get more of the touches. So, and Klotz, I correct me if I'm wrong. I do believe tomorrow is National Tight Ends Day. Am I right?
That would be a Booner question. Booner's very. I feel like we would have heard more.
Booner, is that correct? Booner, tap in. I'm typing it.
He's usually the national tight ends keeper for the show, but
maybe
I feel like I would have heard more like oomph. They usually hype it up a little bit. You know what I mean? No,
it is.
It is? All right. Well, Sam Laporte's
touchdown.
Well,
at least that's what I just Googled it. It says National Tight Ends Day is an annual NFL event on the 4th Sunday. Oh, no, the 4th. Wait, what? Never mind. No, it isn't. I'm wrong.
Shocker.
Never mind. Erase it. I was going to say, because I wanted to bring up Sam Laporta. Obviously, he hasn't kind of, I don't know, he's come up in big plays, but he hasn't been involved in the offense really a lot. Do you kind of expect that to kind of take off a little bit more, or is it them, Johnny Moe, kind of just settling into this offense and figuring out really what works for him? Because like Sam Laporta, he has been effective. He's caught, I think he's had like 30+ yards in like almost every game. But you haven't seen really the red zone looks. It's been more of Amon-Ra St. Brown. Obviously, he's had like 5 touchdowns already. But do you expect Sam Laporta to kind of get more involved and for him to be kind of seeing more looks?
Yes and no. It's like for that to happen,
working,
to your point, like you brought it up, like Amon-Ra in the red zone has been every game besides Green Bay. He had how many? Week 2 was against Chicago. How many did he have? 1, I believe. Maybe he had 3, 1, and then 2, whatever it was. Like just insane touchdown production lately. And I think around the whole offense, J-Mo hasn't really. You saw J-Mo against the Bears, but that was on like 3 catches, 2 catches. Like it's not like J-Mo hasn't had a 5-catch game. Laporta has, but the thing that takes Laporta kind of to that next step is the touchdowns. When he's got those 2 touchdown games, he's had a 3 touchdown game. That's what makes Sam Laporta kind of that Swiss Army knife. And at this point, they haven't needed. I mean, you need J-Mo, you need Laporta, but they haven't needed them yet, in my opinion. So maybe it does, but I don't think it's going to be drastically where it's like, hey, Sam Laporta is going to put together a stretch where he's getting 80, 90. 60 and 2 touchdowns. I think it's just going to be a steady, like, trying to think of a comp that I would compare it to. A Dallas Goedert. I think Dallas Goedert role for Laporta going forward is what we could expect. Like, if he has a touchdown, I think it's going to be like 3 catches, 40 yards, and a tutty. I don't think he's going to be overwhelmingly, like, dominant. Maybe he is for a game, but not consistently.
Yeah, and that's kind of how Dallas Goedert is in that Eagles offense. There's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and they obviously – well, they try to spread the ball around and, get it to everyone. It hasn't really worked out this season, but, there will be those off-end games where Dallas Goedert just goes nuts and, he has like 80 yards and a touchdown or whatever. And I think Sam will obviously have those games, but it'll be when the time's right. And he's such a valuable red zone threat to where, like, they're gonna have to, he will get involved sometime. I'm not worried about like him not getting those looks. They've been elite in the red zone thus far. Amon-Ra St. Brown, both the running backs. So, like you said, not worried about.
Caleb, have we recovered?
I think we've recovered.
Random bloody nose, long night, Caleb. Little sleep.
yeah, ripping them at 8:45 in the morning. Getting ready for the show. But did I hear National Tight Ends Day?
I was wrong. I thought it was
my boy Chesco Rufino, Brock Right Anytime.
I swear I seen it on Twitter like a day ago or something, but I was totally wrong. And I went to Booner for backup, and Booner's not here anymore. So I looked it up. I was wrong.
No, Mike.
I didn't like that.
Come on, dude. Tomorrow would have been the perfect opportunity for Sam Laporta to catch two touchdowns.
Yeah, well, Lucas said it right away. Booner's usually on top of that, and he would have said something like 3 times in our group chat throughout the week. It would have been like a daily alarm for Booner. So Klotz was right.
I hope it's next week in the Laporte and Kelsey Bowl. That's what I'm hoping for.
That'd be nice. But I mean, yeah.
You guys see, by the way, I went to I saw the Smashing Machine movie last night about Mark Kerr, Toledo UFC legend. Great movie. My blood pressure shot through the fucking roof. But I'm like, dude, why is there 300 cars in this parking lot right now? Like, this isn't that Taylor Swift movie, dude.
Oh.
Taylor Swift movie. The Horde. The whole everybody you walk in the movie theater and everybody's dressed like they live on a farmhouse, acting like they have cowgirl. Like, dude, you live in the middle of the fucking suburbs in Perrysburg, Ohio. Stop acting like you're just a Taylor Swift. The Taylor Swift cult community, you included, Unc, drives me crazy.
Mike's a part of that.
I just respect greatness. She puts up crazy numbers.
I have tried to tap in because I'm like, dude, I can't. Like, am I the only one that's? I tried to tap in, and I'm a lover of all music.
Okay.
What is all the hoopla?
Exactly.
What is all the hoopla?
I've never seen Gentry so mad.
It's just more respect on her name, man.
We were in Nashville, and we were coming back from the bars. We're all pretty fucked up. And we get on a shuttle bus to go back to the hotel, and it's probably like a 20-minute ride. I probably still have the video. This dude was so angry and intoxicated about me and Jeff dissing Taylor Swift. He went to war. He went to war.
I did.
Mike.
I did. They were disrespecting her.
Mike, if we have any Swifties in the, I'll let you become friends with these Swifties in the chat if we have any. I haven't seen anybody stick up for her yet. Give us your top 2 favorite songs.
Oh, I don't know like.
Oh,
that.
Dude, you're such a
stop
lying, Mike.
Don't disrespect her.
But no, I just said, bro, she's like one of the biggest artists ever. Be selling out football stadiums. They were talking crazy about her.
Bad Bunny's about to do the Super Bowl. You gonna ride for him?
How do you feel about
that? Okay, can we talk about that? What is that? What I've actually never heard a Bad Bunny song.
No, like, I played his top song. And he's supposed to be like the most popular guy on planet Earth. I played his top song. I've never heard it in my life. I've never heard that. And dude, the whole Super Bowl halftime show, it's going to be in not English.
I don't understand.
You have
Taylor Swift too.
I've heard of Bad Bunny. You know,
yeah, we all have.
I like the Latin culture. I think it has some great upside, some great prospects there. So I'm familiar myself with this game. Some solid music. As far as like it's got good beats. No business being at the Super Bowl halftime show. It's like having Chris Stapleton doing like the MLS Cup. What are we doing? Like, it's like, what the? This just does not. I get you're in California. You're on the West Side. Great, cool. Like West Coast. Let's embrace it, dude.
Can we have Chris Stapleton do the national anthem every single year? Because that was the best national anthem of all time.
That shit had me. I'm not a country music fan. I really couldn't tell you 3 Chris Stapleton songs, but my God. Dude put on a fucking show, dude. It's like it's an emotional moment. He knows how to do it.
He does. But I think I had a couple guesses who was going to be the Super Bowl halftime show. I thought I was going to be spot on. You want to hear them?
Yeah.
First one, Billie Eilish. I thought I think she's caliber of fame that she could have done it. That might have been all I had, honestly. I think I
would have been all my Tate McFucking dude. The new Taylor Swift is Tate McRae. I never want to hear that again either.
I like Tate McRae. Tate McRae.
Sell out.
John Mayer could have been another guy that maybe did the Super Bowl halftime show. I'm a big John Mayer guy.
What?
You got Klotz. You have to think about guys that are just famous, that are super famous, and have a lot of songs that people know.
Name me three John Mayer songs.
I'm the biggest John Mayer. I'm the biggest John Mayer fan on planet Earth. So that's an unfair question. I can name you 10 deep cuts right now if you want to hear it.
Let's hear it.
All right, let's go. Do you actually want me to? You want me to?
Go.
Okay, let's go. So these are deep cuts. I'm not going. The waiting on the world to change. I'm not going on. Your body is a wonderland. We'll skip those. Let's go. We'll go Queen of California. We'll go. Come on, Klotz, fuck. Of course not.
10 deep cuts.
I just gotta fucking think, dude. The heart of life. That's a really good one. I recommend anybody listen to that one. Give me Crossroads. Good one. We could end the segment now. we could end the segment now. But look, big John Mayer fan here.
Yeah, I can support that. Give me Red Hot Chili Peppers for the Super Bowl halftime show.
I'm a big Red Hot Chili Peppers fan as well. Big
Red Hot.
Morgan Wallen?
But they wouldn't let Wallen do it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a big Wallen guy as well. They wouldn't let Wallen do it. I don't think.
That'd be sweet though.
Yeah, he's the GOAT. But Klotzy, thanks again for joining, brother. You're the man.
Boys, anytime.
Wait. Let's get to these.
Klotz, you're not. I wanted to get to these all show. These are tough.
Can we zoom in on them? I haven't seen these yet.
Pistons new unis. They're sweet.
Zoom. I need a zoom.
How we doing that? There we go.
Yeah. I don't like the light blue. I really don't.
It's not like
on the yeah, that's teal.
Like where it says Detroit?
Yeah, that's teal.
That's teal.
So it's the same color as the blue on the shorts.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think they're tough.
They're all right.
They've done better. I think the Pistons have failed on multiple jerseys. I think
they're better than the Verner's jerseys.
Yeah, those were weird. Is that what the inspiration was Verner's?
Yeah,
I think so. I could be wrong. I think so though.
But I think the apparel that came out with those were sweet, but they just weren't sweet jerseys.
Doesn't Big Sean design a lot of these? Or am I wrong?
You're the Pistons guru here.
I just hold Big Sean then because I've said he's done a terrible job.
Come on.
They're all
but
right.
The teal ones, they should just always have those. They should always have the teals. Never.
I like the black ones too. The black one with the stripes on them.
Yeah.
The blue and red stripe. A lot of people don't like those. I don't know why. I like them.
I like them.
I mean, the old school ones were red with the white numbers.
Yep.
Those were fire.
I just think the old the IT and like the going to work days.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, bring them back. Bring them back. Just like the Lions uniforms, like
now, right?
What do you say?
The going to work ones were the same.
Not going to work.
The bad boys.
Bad boys. Thank you, Caleb.
But the going to work had the red ones, right? That was
they did. No. I think that was later with like Max Seal and them.
Oh, actually,
I think that was a little bit later.
Those were sick, and they need. Sorry, my phone's ringing. They need to bring those back.
How do you guys feel about before we end it? Like the cream ones they have, the cream and orange ones?
No,
I
don't like them either. No. I don't like them.
I think you can't. You got to look like the Pistons, dude. That's what I hate about half these alternate uniforms around the NBA. It's like, dude, this looks like a team that was brought over from China a little bit ago, and they're playing for one game and getting shipped back. I can't tell who's playing. I mean, I can, obviously, but there's got to be some context for the uniform. Not just like 3-1-3 night, and then you come out with a fucking orange, black, and like, dude, come on, no. Like, Pistons.
Didn't Cleveland go back to their jerseys that they had when Braun was there?
A similar look. The best Cavs uniforms are their orange and blue ones.
The old school ones, yeah.
Oh yeah. With like,
think-
those ones are cool.
Mark
Those were
Price,
like an alternate though, right?
junkyard
Oh, no,
dog.
Yeah,
Mark
those
Price.
were their alternates when Brown was there, obviously. But
Did you say Cleveland got Cleveland?
I
Cavs,
swear I seen a
yeah,
picture of that. You remember
Yeah,
like
but those
those?
might be an alternate.
Yeah, I think it was like the blue one with like the checkered like arms. And
Yeah, they got
Those are-
the same thing. So the Swifties just feeding out lies here on Saturday mornings. Cavs did not get new uniforms.
I thought I seen a picture. It might have been an alternate. And they look sick.
I'm just
Best
busting your
era of
chops, Mike.
jerseys were the dry fit sleeves. When the players would have to,
dude,
like the
you're joking?
those were peak basketball for me.
No, you're
Like,
lying.
The
Those are
games,
Or
the
those-
games that were played and players were getting their sleeves ripped off. Best era of basketball of my lifetime.
Those were the
Wait.
worst uniforms of all time.
Maybe the worst uniforms, but that was when Russ and KD together. That's when Houston was something with James Harden. LeBron was in Cleveland.
LeBron was
The
on
Lakers were still a little bit rough. Peak
Oh, are you-
basketball.
Yeah, no, that was good basketball. That was like, well, the Christmas Day uniforms had the sleeves on them, and then like, I think
You
everybody
see him
loved
ripped
it.
off, and whoever ripped it off went fucking nuts afterwards. It's like he was taking off his cape.
Yeah. Fuck. Well, fellas. Oh, shout out Broder in the chat. What up,
Hey.
Broder? What's going on?
And Broder, shout out.
Shout
Broder.
out.
Hey, Broder,
Shout
go
out,
blue, baby. Go blue.
Coach Isaac, Chili Peppers already did it. So whoever,
did they?
whatever one
Excuse
of
my
us-
ignorance. That's
Yeah,
on me.
But Chili Peppers would be sweet. That, I mean, again, when you think about Super Bowl halftime show, you just got to think about people that are famous enough to do it. But thank you, everybody,
Like a Kurt
for
Cobain
tuning in.
hologram.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Again, we will be live Sunday pregame, watch party, postgame for
The whole night.
Lions, Bengals, and yeah, this is
Except for this week, right, boys?
4:25 start.
Ugh.
Not a fan of it, Klotzy. I'm
Klotz
not a
is
fan of
bringing
it. Those
dinner.
1 o'clock
Klotz is
games
bringing
are
dinner.
awesome, dude.
I'll bring some din.
Okay, I'll hold you
But
to it.
yeah, fellas, Tigers tonight, Tigers Sunday, big weekend for Detroit sports. So hope everybody has a safe and great weekend, and be great. Let's be great. Peace out, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.